next week. Then
I'm hoping there's no
If
audio. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so we'll see.
if I can zoom in from somewhere, and kind of like when I don't know, like the Family Feud goes to New York or something, like it could be on site, some sort of yeah. I don't. I mean, I can do it whenever on Thursday if you want to, but
Okay.
I will be doing it off site, New York or something, like it could be on site, some sort of yeah. I don't. I mean, I can do it whenever on Thursday. I hate my voice so much.
Okay.
I will be doing it off site, New York or something, like it could be on site, some sort of yeah. I don't. I mean, I can do it whenever on Thursday. I hate my voice so much.
Okay.
I will be
What is
doing it off
happening?
site, New York or something,
I have
like
no
it would
idea
be
what's
on
happening.
site,
Oh my
some
gosh,
sort
there
of
is
yeah.
audio.
I don't. I mean, I can do it whenever on Thursday. I hate my voice so much.
Okay. It's like
I
a
will be
loop
doing it
happening.
off site, New
Oh
York
my
or
God.
something,
I have
like
no
it would
idea
be
what's
on
happening.
site,
Oh my
some
gosh,
sort
there
of
is
yeah.
audio.
I don't. I mean, I can do it whenever on Thursday. I hate my voice so much.
I hate that.
Streaming.
Literally.
Literally.
You probably would be better at it
Aha,
just
Pim.
from a more personal standpoint. Not that I don't have a great explain those things better.
everybody. Welcome back to DivaDads. We literally just lost Rodney. Literally. We are doing this live for the first time, and Rodney disappeared.
Rodney didn't want to.
And Rodney's gone.
Rodney's gone. I have no idea what just happened. Well, I'm sure he'll be back. How's everybody?
You know, it's been a really long week. So as you guys know, and as anyone who's watching knows, in 2 days, wow, yeah, we are doing. Yay! Welcome back, Rodney. We are hosting I Believe in TTC, our first ever live streamed concert, to benefit. Sup, Rod?
Hi. Sorry.
To benefit the theater company. And I have spent every waking moment for the past 2 weeks working solely on this. This is the first time I've really left my computer to move to another computer today. So I'm doing great, Dana. Doing great. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Yes, excellent. Spent a little time at the pool today.
Oh. Point already.
Thank you.
Nail polish is another point, Mike.
Still have the nail
my
polish.
Gosh.
Gotta let it go off.
Filmed that a week ago.
Mike,
True.
how was your week?
It was good. It was good. The only person that is busier at TTC stuff right now is, of course, Adrian. I would probably be third. Dana, you're doing a lot too. So
No,
yeah,
you're
are
definitely second.
But no, just this been a great week. We closed on our house, getting the marketing stuff for TTC. And of course, I'll always say, go to IBelieveInTTC.com, plug, wink, wink, and definitely check us out. The videos, the performances, the musicals are going to be amazing, like amazing. So check us out Saturday, July 18th at 7 p.m.
Carrie
Dana,
and I did our little commercial yesterday, and I realized I don't think we'd ever really sung together, me and Carrie. So we did that a lot, and then eventually recorded the clips for the commercial.
Well, and I watched that before 8 a.m. I don't know if y'all saw the little note this morning, but you guys have to warn people when you do stuff like that, because I was wrecked for the entire day. I started tearing up. It's like I hadn't heard a live performance. Oh my God, it was amazing. You guys did amazing.
You know it wasn't live, right? It was a video?
I mean, you know what I meant. TTC performance. It was amazing.
I'm kidding. All right. We have so much to do. Do we want to say anything else about I Believe in TTC? Get there, watch it.
Yeah, watch it. I mean, clearly we can do some sort of something via live, so let's do it. I'm excited. It's going to be wonderful.
Don't worry, you're not in charge of it.
Thank God.
It's going to be fine. Ooh, special guest.
Ooh, who could this be?
I know about
Coco's not happy.
So, if anyone's watching live, I have eaten nothing but handfuls of Honey Nut Cheerios today. And I was like, you know what? I need tacos and I need a margarita. So I texted our resident Mad Taco guy and was like, who delivers? Like Grubhub, Uber Eats, like who does Mad Taco? And he was like, I'm here today and I will be your delivery person.
What's up, Kiki?
Kiki.
What's up?
Grab a seat. You can put everything down right here.
Hello.
We just started our first live episode. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So we just talked about the concert. Rodney, you ready for a drink?
Yes.
Cool.
Dana, I hate to ask you this, but do you have some music for me?
Ready? I got
That's
music for you.
It's
Rodney,
fine. There you go. You're good.
Give me a theme.
Like 70s bedroom music.
Oh, let's get it on.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Let's get it on. Yeah? Oh, good.
Yep, you're good.
Sugar.
Got a little beat going.
Let's get it on. We're going to get pulled down, using that.
What? Oh,
Uh-oh.
Ladies and
you
gentlemen.
take that from the theater.
What? I don't know what you're talking
That's
about.
Alana's.
What?
I've definitely
This
been
is-
that week before, Rodney.
This is
Alana got that from the
most
theater.
100%.
fabulous.
I saw Alana in that. That's amazing.
Well, you can't be a sensitive ponytail man without a ponytail. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need us to get into the mood for our cocktail tonight. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the lights.
Can you speak up a little bit, sir?
We're gonna lower the lights really good there, you know what I mean? And we gotta set that ambiance with a little candlelight. Makes it all right.
You know, you're just a segment, not the entire show.
Oh. Point.
All right.
Diva burn.
So we got the mood set. I don't know why you're in such a hurry, Dana. It's like trying to get this over with.
It's not like
All
our
right.
guest is going to be talking very much.
Yeah, well, we got to get some of the spotlight off of her a little bit. So, got to get the... Oh, wait.
Oh, God.
That's a little bit thorny. Anyway, so today our cocktail of the week is Sex on the Beach. That's right, Sex on the Beach. However, since your resident cocktail connoisseur is going keto, this is called the Fat Bastard Sex on the Beach because it's keto. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a shaker, and you're going to fill your shaker with ice. You are going to add 1.5 ounces of vodka, that is Tito's. You're going to add 1/2 ounce of cranberry vodka. This is Deep Eddy cranberry. But you can choose whatever. If you want to go non-Texas vodka, I suppose you could do that, but I don't know why. Then you're going to need 1/2 ounce of peach vodka. This is Lone Star Peach. Look. And the recipe calls for a little bit of Mio Energy Tropical Fusion because you got to keep it tropical. You know what I'm saying? But go light on this because it's going to add a lot of sweetness. So just a little bit. All right. So then you need your glass, and you're going to shake it. Oh no! My glass does not fit. Dang it! Fail. How am I going to do this without making?
Have you ever actually been a bartender, Rodney?
No.
Okay, just checking.
He doesn't lie, folks.
It wasn't obvious, huh? All right, so I kind of gave it a light shake. You're going to strain that ice out over some more ice. I don't know why, Adrian. This is just what the recipe calls for. I guess it's because fresh ice is better.
Good job.
All right. Have I ever been a bartender?
I'm shocked that no one has snatched you up like this.
Uh-oh.
Topo Chico.
The segment is saved.
So, top it off with a little Topo Chico. And I will say that as you go, because it's got a lot of vodka in it, as you go, just kind of keep that Topo topping it off. Give it a twirl. You're ready for the night. So nice.
Oh, my
Right, that's
God.
My goodness.
That's it.
Oh.
Come
wow.
on, introduce the guest and stuff.
Yeah, Mike.
All righty. All right. So we are going to introduce our special guest tonight. It is, of course, Kristy Petty, better known as KP, better known as our TTCDivaDads co-star, Rosie from Mamma Mia, which she did an amazing job. She actually came to theater company in 2001, so she's a super, super long time alum. Been in tons and tons of shows at TTC. She is a local business owner in Bryan, Texas, but not just a business owner. She helped singly revitalize downtown Bryan, which is now thriving today. She is mother extraordinaire to an amazing TTC team, Jackson Petty, and of course, wife to the great Jim Bob McCown. We are going to introduce now our co-star, Kristy Petty.
Yay.
We are doing
She's gonna have to mute YouTube.
Who are we muting?
YouTube. Kristy Petty's gonna have to mute.
Oh, I
YouTube.
thought Rodney said a bad word.
What just happened?
There's an empty chair.
So, as you guys know, and as anyone who's watching knows,
Yep. She's killing me.
Yeah, we are doing. We are hosting live herself instead of to benefit Subron. Kristy Petty moment.
Yep.
That's
awesome.
Oh,
there she is. Hey, could you mute YouTube for us, Kristy?
You're doing great, Dana. Great for you guys.
Oh, man.
Can you mute YouTube?
Did I have it right?
Yeah, but hold on, Kristy. Please turn off your YouTube. Like, just turn it off.
I thought I did.
No, just
I don't know where it's coming
Mike
from.
talk-
It's awesome.
Dana's gonna have an aneurysm.
I'm good. I'm good.
Are you?
I'm great.
It's still going. How is it still going?
Rolling with the punches.
That's right. So we just got a comment from YouTube. Catherine wants to know if that wig is from Joseph. I don't know. All I know is it's from upstairs in the wig room.
It is.
Why are we still hearing this?
I have no idea why it's that
All
going
right,
like
let's
that.
find out who it is. Now we just have to.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, it disappeared when I muted Kristy Petty.
This is great.
Do you have it playing? Do you have YouTube playing on your computer?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, somewhere there's YouTube in your house. It's playing.
I think she's doing this on purpose. Just
I
to
feel like,
make
yeah, I feel like she is too.
Oh, God.
She's just messing with us.
Don't worry, you're not in charge of it.
Thank God.
Do you have it playing? Do you have YouTube playing?
Just gonna keep drinking.
This is the drinking segment.
Give me a second. So, if anyone's watching live, I have eaten nothing but handfuls of Honey Nut Cheerios today. You know what?
We're getting a recap.
Yeah. Oh.
Hi, are you calling me?
Yeah. So somewhere on your computer, YouTube is playing, which is why we're having like a loop.
Well, I completely closed off everything because I couldn't see anything, but I did a force quit. I'm guessing that's what it was. There was nothing on my computer.
I think you're good now.
Are we good? Okay, bye. I'll talk to you in a second. Yay!
Yay! Welcome.
That reminds
Kristy.
me of
I'm really
Spaceballs.
sorry. It wasn't up or anything. I have 2 monitors. I don't know what was happening.
We're good.
That is
Are we
hilarious.
live, guys? Are we live?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes,
We're live.
Well, it
When
messed
will
up my
then
opening. I had a whole
be now?
opening.
Now.
I had an opening where I was going to be a guest star and I was going to be fabulous.
You are.
Oh, you are. And
It was
you were
great.
It's over. It's fine.
Definitely unforgettable moment in DivaDads history.
Sunglasses.
Dana, what's your stress level at this point?
I have no idea. No idea.
Cool.
Should we take a shot?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna take a shot of my margarita.
Hey, guess what I did? Well,
What did you do?
Guess what Jim Bob did?
What?
Did you?
Can you turn up
Jim
your
Bob-
mic a little bit?
Turn it up,
Ooh.
off, down. What's happening?
Up a little bit?
That looks amazing.
I'm not sure
Yep.
that went.
Is that a Cosmo?
I've never been asked to be quieter in my life, ever. First time. First time, Dana Martin. But
First live
This-
episode, first time.
it's
Kristy.
not a-
Hey, Bob.
Hi, Jim Bob.
is he back there?
Yeah.
He has a shirt on. It's amazing.
And I saw Ito.
And a Ito and a Cooper. Ito to Cooper side. This is what Jim Bob made me for tonight. It's a grapefruit Topo Chico.
Nice.
And
Nice.
grapefruit Deep Eddy's vodka with some cherries in it.
Very nice. That's very close to what I'm drinking.
Yeah, so we did that to support the Topo Cheek Bros.
We appreciate that. So what you been doing, KP? How's things?
They're good. You know, whatever. 2020. Yeah. So that's that.
We are going to get into the questions right away, and you know this is a new questioner for the TTCDivaDads. Gary Meyer does not normally ask us questions, but seeing you as a guest,
Gary Myers is not normal, which I was.
That's fair. That's
Who's
fair.
Gary Meyer?
Gary is married to Nanette, who has been like best friends with Mandy, my wife, since like high school. So and she was a roommate and everything, and so yeah, Gary's we love Gary. Gary's questions are weird. Number one, he says, is getting to cuddle with Jim Bob McCown every night as awesome as I think it must be?
Yes. He's a wonderful snuggle bunny.
Okay, so that's fair. Of course, number two, the biggest question we clearly all want to know is, would you rather have 4 legs or 4 arms?
What?
I don't know.
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about it. I pre-read my questions. I was trying to get ready, mentally prepared for this evening. And I think I would rather have 4 legs so I can dance better.
I would just be excited about being super fast. Would that help?
Yeah, super fast, or like, because then all we do with the extra arms is more like extra jazz hands. I don't know. It's more fun to do.
I'd probably fall down a whole lot more, like twice as much.
Thank you, Gary, for letting me.
That would be like 4 more things that you would have, or 2 more things that you would have to, coordinate.
Oh, I was thinking shave.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah, not me.
Are y'all ready? This is my Adrian Dobson moment. This is what I have this drink, and so I have to do like this.
I'm flattered.
Jim Bob made it.
So flattered.
Wow. You always make it look so cool when you drink these little fancy drinks. I don't ever do that, and so you're always like, you're like real cute about it. I'm not cute about it.
Oh my
God. Won't be here long. Don't worry, guys. It's fine.
This is amazing.
That will go by really fast.
That's not what he really means.
Yeah. Do you like that better? Do you made your on YouTube again?
No, please. Oh, am I next?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, this question is actually from us Diva Dads. Why are you so amazing? And why has your name come up on every single episode of Diva Dads?
It's her and Paul Early.
Yeah.
Me and Paul Early?
Yeah. Y'all come up every time.
I'm not sure about the company I'm keeping right now. I had a really good answer for that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Paul knows all that.
That's a diva burn on a non-diva.
Oh,
No.
is she a non-diva though?
Yeah.
Very much a diva.
Yeah. He's the missing diva dad. He'll be like,
Well, wait. Speaking of divas, Kristy, have you recorded your little bit for our video
no,
for Saturday?
But I've been practicing.
Okay, good.
I was going to do it today, but then I started drinking instead of doing that.
Doing it while drinking is preferred.
I probably am going to do it at the end. Oh, or maybe we'll do it during Dad's After Dark.
That would be very helpful for us.
I would really appreciate it.
Yes. All right, I'm going on to Kelsey's question. So I didn't know this, but you were her first ever choreographer at theater company with Music Man. And she wants to know, and I would like to know, are you ever going to take on that choreographer role again? And if so, what show do you want to choreograph?
I was thinking about that today. Honestly, probably if I could choreograph any show, I would want to do Cabaret. I love Fosse, and I love the super stylized stuff and like being able to pull from him. I think probably the last time I really choreographed anything was with you. I think, or maybe I did Whorehouse after that. I can't remember which one was first, but when we did Chicago, I just remember how wildly out of practice I was in choreographing and how hard that is. And it wasn't about being out of shape. It was about being like, it's been 6 years since I've done any musical theater dance, and I don't even.
Like it's very mental, and you're right. You do get out of shape. I feel very out of shape right now.
Yeah, just being like, I mean, because I choreographed so many shows in a row that I had moves that I just like, they just happened really naturally and in my mind and just flowing when you hear the music. And I still dance around the house and stuff, but I do think if I were able to do Chicago, though, there's enough stylized. I mean, you have to do Fosse. Like Fosse. It's not like you have to make up your own dance moves. You just have to compile them in his style, and that would be so fun. I'd also kind of like to be Fräulein Schneider, but I don't know. That would be fun.
I was actually looking at pictures of our Chicago today because sweet Miss Mandy Walker sent me a little alumni video, a little testimonial. So I was looking at all of her pictures from the theater company. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was like, I would love to see those because the biggest frustration of having ADD is not having a very good memory. So when other people tell me about my memories, I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, I forgot that happened. Thank you. So I had to like sit here before today and I'm like, okay, when did I read the question so I wouldn't.
But I feel like I know the answer to this question because she wants to know like what it would take to get you back as a choreographer, but it's time. Yeah.
Well, I was like, it is time to an extent, but I mean, choreography is something that I need to get my feet under me even more than acting and singing.
Yeah.
Because it is about kind of getting yourself back into that creative thing. But I would love to do that. And it is time. It's so annoyingly time.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But it's the thing I miss out. I've missed so much. That's the thing that I miss probably the most is choreography. But I'm also wildly out of shape. So there's that.
Oh, just in time for Mike's questions. My mom and dad are watching, and their awful dog Darcy apparently lost her dang mind when Coco started barking at Keith. So hi, Darcy. All right, go ahead.
All right. Terry Dobson says, Kristy, what are some of your favorite Randy memories?
Yes, I know. She's gonna be trying to make me and Adrian cry right off the bat.
Well, it is a day that ends in Y.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Mom.
I think the thing that I treasure the most, one of the things I treasure the most is completely has nothing to do with the theater. It's the last time I saw Randy alive and out and about because I didn't get to the theater as much as I wanted to back then. And I think it was the first Friday in October. It was pretty quickly before he had passed on, but it was like the end of the night and I was done and I was sitting out in front of the cafe. It was closed. It was literally like 10 p.m. or something. And he just strolls up in like beach shorts. It was weird. The whole thing. Sometimes I think I've dreamed it. But he like came up on the video or on the village patio and it was just like, what are you doing, girl? And I'm like, what are you doing? It was just like such a nice blessing because I never got to just sit with Randy. And we sat there for a couple hours and just BS. There was like 4 or 5 people over there. It was just such a nice like kind of moment with them that I feel like was a gift that I didn't know I was getting at the time. But I think the biggest thing for me was getting to be in the shows that he made, that he was on stage. If I'm not mistaken, he was only on stage in Zorba and Sweeney Todd since we came to the Tejas Center, right?
Can't hear you, Adrian.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was eating chips and not wanting to be gross. He did Cats. We bullied him into being in Cats.
Oh, yes, I saw that. That's why.
You also got to do the 50 shows.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did the 50 shows with him. And I got to do Taking Liberty, which was the show he wrote. So I got to do, I mean, and I know a lot of it was by choice. I mean, if Randy was involved in it, it was such a huge opportunity to do things with him.
Yeah.
He had such a funny process. not even funny. I mean, funny may not be the right word, but he was a method actor by his own, volition. He told you that he got into the characters when he was there. And so it was funny. It was fun to have him as Zorba because he was kind of kooky.
And he was free.
So he was free like the whole time. He was very Zorba. Yeah. Like during rehearsals, just like for that, like 2.5 months, Sweeney got weird because he was Sweeney. And she got weird. Oh, stuff got weird. And I was like 5 months pregnant. And in Randy's twisted mind, he was like, you know what we should do? We should put you in like a big bright apron so we can see how fat and pregnant you are. And then we're going to make you the lady who's crying when the judge sends her husband to death. It'll be great. Then you'll be like, oh, there was like, oh, she's pregnant. And we'll just like go. And I'm like, you're so demented. But yes.
But
that was the chorus role.
And that's a cool. So we talked about this actually at Kids Camp a couple weeks ago when Jackson was there, because not many people can say that they were on the stage at the theater company in utero, and Jackson's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, side note, Hannah Shadanian, we discussed timing yesterday. She was absolutely pregnant in Little Shop of Horrors. So her little baby boy was definitely in Little Shop of Horrors.
Hey. Yeah, Randy wanted Jackson. He and I were talking about how to sneak Jackson onto stage when he was just so super little. And we wanted him to be the egg in Seussical.
I remember that.
His dad was the Cat in the Hat. And so when he was going to do that, and I'm like, I'll just be right off stage and we'll just like pass him out and he can be the little puppet that's like, oh, and then it had like little ears. But there was lots of puppet issues, and it was like, Randy was like, we're just not pulling this off enough to stick
really hard
a human baby into this. I'm like, I don't want to drop you to drop my baby. He was really little.
It's hard enough having like dogs on stage. Coco, my baby, has been on stage and she's a pain in the ass. So actual children, much harder.
Yeah, but he was like 3 months old. He was so little. But yeah, so Jackson was almost on stage too, but he was in Sweeney Todd, and he was in the 50 show. I actually blame the 50 show for my C-section. Yeah, I have 2. Jackson was the C-section baby because the lady, she picked up, I'm sorry, this is kind of gross, but she picked up my umbilical cord like this, and it was like hanging like sausages like this, and there were 2 major knots right there. It's so fun. And she was,
oh man,
because he knew knots in his umbilical, and it was wrapped around his neck, and so we had an emergency C-section. And the doctor the next day or something, he was like, so it would have had to happen between like 14 and 20 weeks where he was big enough to swim around but still swim through, like to make knots. And I was like, yeah, 50 show. So, and that was when I knew I was pregnant the Christmas before, because Jackson was born in July. And I knew I was pregnant, and I'm like, but I do this all the time. And they're like, whatever you do, just keep doing. It's fine. Which obviously included like this move where you up in the air and then through, like we did all the 50s jump, jive, and well.
Somersault in there.
Yeah. I tied him in knots in my utero. I'm very famous.
Dana, are you still okay?
That Adrian and Cynthia. Boo, look at me. Yeah. This is why I'm going last.
Dana's okay.
I did my research. I gotta be funnier. I gotta have more props.
It might be that you have to be meaner to the dads too, because I feel like they escalated things.
I love that part.
I'm just saying.
That's not some research that I did, so it's gonna have to be off the cuff. But
so we probably already know this question then. How did you feel when Jackson started showing interest in performing?
It was so sweet. I love it so much. I have to tell you, like, another Randy story is that Jackson auditioned for Peter Pan. Dana has to go to the potty, guys. Sorry, hold on. He'll be back. Oh, yay, you're back. Did you wash your hands? But Jackson, he left again. Adrian's eating. This is the whole thing. This is awesome. I'm gonna turn my YouTube back on. Make it fun again.
Don't do that.
No, when Jackson he tried it out for Peter Pan and he didn't, and he went up there and he was so scared. And he was like 6, 7, 8. He was probably more like 8.
He was terrified.
He was so scared. I don't know. We can like dub it in later. I'm just kidding. Okay. No, he was really, really scared. But so Randy called him back and he did it another day and he was just absolutely petrified. And sweet Randy called me. He was like, Kristy, like 120 children auditioned for the show. And then we called back like 60.
Yeah.
I can't give Jackson a part. And I mean, not that Randy would do that for people, but I literally have never had him audition. And he's like, y'all need to know Randy Wilson was the first person that came to the hospital after Jackson was born.
Oh.
He was like, he showed up with that big, ridiculous tiger thing that I talked about it at his funeral, and I talked about it during Big too. But literally at like 6 o'clock in the morning, which I didn't realize Randy was such an early riser. I thought that was weird because we had Jackson at like 11 p.m. And like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, he shows up and he has this huge, like consolidated tiger. It was like consolidated. It was like this big from head, and then the tail wrapped around. And it was one of those stuffed animals that's as hard as a rock. Like it's stuffed, but it's like it's supposed to just be posed. And he brought it to a newborn. Like, here, you won't be this big for 3 years.
But enjoy.
And it has absolutely no cuddle value whatsoever. But I had it in my house, and I'm bringing it to you because I love you. And it was like the most Randy thing that ever happened, and all Randy things. So beautiful. Because he's not really a kid person. If you know Randy, he's like, oh.
He was only a kid person in the summer.
Well, when he had to be. Yeah.
He had to be. But yeah, outside of that, if there was a kid show, I mean, he did a great job. But I mean, you knew how much he really preferred adult shows.
Yeah. He would discuss how kids shows were part of the reason he was in therapy.
Oh, Keith, do you feel personally targeted by that statement?
You fine, Keith.
As a child actor
yes
of the theater.
and no, because for me, I started when I was going through puberty, and so Randy definitely would cast me older than I probably should have been.
How old
like
were
for example, Chicago. I was in Chicago and I was probably 16 years old.
Well, he had 16-year-olds in Cabaret too. That was part for fun.
So,
but you were.
But also, like,
you were also 6 foot tall in the 5th grade.
Right, exactly. So like he definitely thought I was like way older than I actually was. So I don't think I fall under that category, but
I worked at Champions and did the after school program. I literally went in one day and I was doing TTC at the time, and like Keith walked by and he's like, "Hey, Chris."
oh my
School? Like I was so confused by that. Like I know you're a kid, but I thought you were like 16. Like I don't know, like already. But it's like I've known Keith since he was in the 5th grade, 4th grade maybe.
There was one show where I'm like 95% sure I was like in 5th grade, and I was like in the ensemble with like all of these adult men, and I'm like, I don't think I belong here.
I probably sent you a picture of that. So
in Maine with me? Yeah.
No, he wasn't in Maine. He wasn't there yet. But between Diva Dads and between all the stuff that we're doing for the I Believe in TTC on Saturday, I have spent, and I actually talked to Alan about this today, I have spent an insane amount of time on Alan's Facebook page and all of the previous show albums, and then also his archived website of all the old show photos going back to like Superstar. And every time I find a picture of Keith where he is just so not at his
Listen,
current stage.
I think I went through puberty like right when I started at TTC.
There's a lot of pictures, and he just took it every time I shared one.
Oh.
He was so cute. I love him.
Was I cute? That's a question.
You were so cute. You were such a nerd. It was the best nerd ever.
Well, what can I say?
I still love you. I very much loved you when you were a baby.
All right. So
yeah.
we got Kate Mitchell, and Kate wants to know, what is your favorite show you've been in, and what's the favorite show you've seen at the theater, and why?
Oh, that's hard. Well, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cheat. Cheap and easy, Mamma Mia. Because like, I mean, it's now. Like, so now, like, man, that experience was so fun. That was such a fun experience. We had such a great cast.
Plus, we were in there, right?
I was part of that.
Plus, I got to like straddle Rodney
Oh.
So that's not weird at all.
He goes, oh.
I remember the day we staged that. Rodney's exact quote was, "I would literally rather kiss my sister."
Which I think is sort of rude. I know I'm practically a sister, but still, he doesn't want to kiss Monica either. It's so weird. So weird. Yeah, Rob was there, and he was like, "So can y'all kiss?" And we were both like, "No." Like in exact unison, we're like, "No." It was like, really? Like, we're so childish. We're like, nope, we're not kissing. So many years. I don't know if everyone doesn't know. Everyone, like Rodney and I met when we were freshmen at A&M, like sophomores at A&M, like fall sophomore year, I think.
Yeah, because you started somewhere else, right? And then you came to A&M so
but I was
you
visiting.
came in. Yeah, you visited quite a bit. So we probably met freshman year. We were probably 18 or 19 whenever we met, yeah.
Literally. And so then I fixed Mandy's makeup for Rod's first day, or his big date. They went to see Phantom of the Opera in Houston, and I fixed Mandy's hair and makeup all up and for that, and it was very fun. And we went and like saw Harry Connick Jr. on my 20th birthday together, me and Blake and Mandy and Rod. So we this is ready. Gonna say it. Rod's been in both my weddings, so like there's that. He was the best man in my first one, and then he married me in the second one. So whatever, it's fancy. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, you know Rod?" Like I go to the theater and I'm like, "Hey," I'm like, "How do you know Rod?" I'm like, "How do you know Rod?" Talk to me about Rod Bettis. Like I don't know Rod Bettis. We also, Rod and I came to blows one day at the theater during Mamma Mia. I was not at my best. I was really stressed out. And Rod was being mean to me like he always does every day, every time we see each other.
What?
And
I don't know who you're talking about. You must be talking about Mike.
Like poking and then poking and then poking. And then the way Rod and I do is that when I have a lot of pinup stuff and Rod is mean to me, I like scream at him really hard because he'll still love me later. And we did that at the theater and everyone like ran away and they were all like, "Rosie is going to kill." What was your name? Phil. No, I'm just kidding. I made fun of you. I made fun of you. I'm coming to you, Mike. All right. So, but yes, no, they're like, "Rosie and Bill hate each other. I think Mamma Mia's over." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't believe it took this long for us to start screaming at each other. You guys are lucky." What was the question?
Oh, favorite show other than Mamma Mia?
Yeah.
So yes, Mamma Mia. But honestly, Zorba, probably. Zorba was just such a beautiful show, and I so very much wanted to be Randy's love interest in that show. It's kind of an awkward statement, but I really wanted that role because there's very few alto roles where you don't need to sound good, you just need to be bold, which is like there's like that range. Rosie is in that range. Like you don't need to sound pretty, you just need to be like about it. My Smokey Joe's Cafe also in that range. Like you hit the notes and you just get kind of gritty and do it. And so that's how the female love interest for Zorba is as well. I really, really wanted to do that part. But it's such a beautiful play. I'd never seen it before. The underwriters were Greek people who helped us get authentic Greek head wraps and stuff. And I was costuming it with them as well. And that was just such a fun experience to do it with the underwriters because it was so important to them to get the Greek story there, and like it was just beautiful. And so many people, if you're in Zorba and you're like, Zorba is my favorite, they're like, oh, Zorba was one of my favorites too, which I think Mamma Mia was like that. Like there's like Big is like that. There's over the years there's the one where it just all like it just meshes in such a beautiful way, and then there's the ones that
We'll talk about Mame later.
I know. I was like, do I love you, man?
We can talk. I've talked about it. But dads, you know how Alan Bryant brings us big trays of baklava?
Oh, yeah.
That's because of Zorba the Greek. So the Greek family like took us to lunch between shows to this Greek restaurant that's not there anymore. It's like a little Mexican restaurant near.
Maria's.
Yeah, and but that's what started the tradition of the baklava, and then he just now we do it every show. It makes me so happy. It's
awesome.
So good.
I didn't know he did that still.
Oh, he so does. I've seen people.
I've seen baklava. I didn't know it came from him. That's
always, yeah. But they're rude. There are people that will just like stack up a plate and just like take it home with them all early.
Can't get through a show without mentioning that cat.
I want to ask one question from Parker Greer, and then we're going to get to something else. So Parker wants to know, when can he get his favorite cinnamon toast at the Village again?
I know, right, Parker? Okay, so there's two things about that. One, I don't know the answer to that. And two, if you ever need cinnamon toast, just get your mom to text me. I will make you cinnamon toast, and you can drive by and get it, like anytime. So just give me a text. But I also want to talk about the first time I saw Parker Greer on stage and how much that child, like I was watching what was I watching the one with the school and the little girl with the accent?
Matilda.
Yeah. I was watching Matilda, and there was so much going on in Matilda, and there were so many amazing, fierce little kids that I was just like, I cannot handle all the talent on the stage at the same time. And they were doing their like mad dance, they're doing all this stuff, and it's like, but there was like this little beam of light on this child, and he was just like, everything he did was just magic. And I'm like, who is that little man with the dark hair and the big eyes? And I just want to like go tell him how amazing he is. And then I found out him and his mom go to the Village all the time, and dad, and we are like all big buds, but he's precious and magical. So I just want to tell Parker Greer that you're precious and magical. And also, I'm doing that right? Like that's the person I'm supposed to be talking about. I have the right kid. I'm like, sometimes you're looking at me crazy, but I don't know if it's I have the wrong child altogether. But the Village currently I'm just tired. I'm tired. Everybody's like, you're closed till August? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I need a nap. I'm sleepy. We have been doing, like, the Village can't function in the way that the Village functions. Like, you don't want to go eggs. You might think you want to go eggs, but when you come and get them and take them home and try to eat them, you don't want to go eggs. It doesn't taste the same. Like, 70% of our food doesn't taste the same at home. You need to eat it right there. And like, you need to eat it with the natural light and your friends coming through the door and your latte fresh and the big open thing.
Makes me really sad right now.
I know. And you need to be like, oh I know. The Village isn't just food. And I've said for years, all my employees know, I've said, when the Village becomes just about food, I'll just close it. And that's not what's happening right now. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm making the point that it's not just about the food for me. It's about the whole deal. And so we've been increasing our catering and trying to do events in the evening. We got all this food ideas. And Steven's a ridiculous genius. Steven Hodgson, who is the lucky man to be married to the beautiful and fabulous Jessica Lemons, and is also my chef since I opened the cafe. He's been working in the kitchen and moved up to my executive chef. And Jessica Lemons and he are only married because of me.
That's true. How many people can you say that for?
A lot of people, a lot.
Yeah.
And I made wishes on her uterus, and then I have baby. And that's also my fault, if you ask Jessica. So Eli's my fault. If I asked if she was pregnant anywhere, she would yell at me, and she'd be like, don't let her talk to her about her stomach. She makes people pregnant. And I promise I was not there. It had nothing to do with me. But I did introduce them. So anyway, what is that about?
Yeah, while we're on this crazy tangent, we've got a question from the YouTube comment section. Missy Barron wants to know, did TTC do Zorba twice? Because I think she feels like there's multiple stories going on.
No, but she was in it.
Just one. Yeah, she was in it. She was the belly dancer.
Maybe she feels like y'all are talking about stuff that she didn't experience.
Maybe our experience was just like even more special.
I'm asking her, why are you asking that question? I have a Mac, so I can do this.
Because I know you're multitasking. Parker also wanted to know, and so did Kate Mitchell. They want to know what first got you involved at TTC.
I'll tell you, Lynette Neidert Darcy.
Oh my gosh.
I know, who a lot of you probably don't know, but you should, because she's precious, and she is actually Sandy from Grease. She's Sandy from the original Grease, but she's literally Sandy from Grease. She's like that. She was born to play that role. She and I worked together. We sold advertising together, and well, there's two things. She and I worked together. She was in Godspell, and we were working together. She's like, "You need to audition." I told her how much theater I used to do, and she's like, "No, you should do it. You should do it." And I still didn't do it for a while. But then when I did audition, she was auditioning for Grease, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Grease!" And so, yeah, I did it. My first show there, and it was so much fun.
Mike, what was the name of her character?
Could you get that one again?
Cha DeGregorio.
Oh my God, Mike.
It's like bougie.
It's in the neighborhood.
What
You're close. It's Cha DeGregorio. The best dance is Saint Benedict's with the worst reputation.
When we did it the second time around, Cha-Cha was played by Keith's cousin, Catherine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yay, I know.
I was Eugene.
Yeah.
I
choreographed it.
You and Jeff Rebay choreographed it. I was Jan, and I was like, I'm not going to like gain weight by eating on stage. And I gained like 10 pounds in that show.
You put down some Twinkies, like lots.
I put down some
sister was
Twinkies.
Marty.
She was so cute.
Oh, and Jessica was.
That was a great show.
So Lynette is what brought you here?
Fun. Yeah, because Lynette and I worked together. But the back story is that it would have been between 1997 and 99. I was a waitress at Olive Garden, and Randy Wilson and Stephanie Miller would come eat at the Olive Garden, and I'd seen them there a couple times, and I was just intrigued by this sweet man with his hair, and they were very fun. They were my people. I could tell they were my people, and I would like have them in my section sometimes. And I went over there, and one time I asked him what they did, and he said he was working at Imagination Station. I think it might have even still been called a theater company. And I said, "Oh, I used to do that." And he's like, "You should come and try out." And they both tried to talk me into doing something a long time before. And so that was the first time I'd ever heard of the theater company. But I think because of that, I went and saw Company on A&M campus.
A&M, right?
Yeah. It was so good. It was the first time I saw Company. We have to do Company.
Yeah, let's do Company. I want to do Company.
So there's a gender bent company that was supposed to open on Broadway with a female Bobby. So I have my eye on that. But I mean, they hadn't even opened when this started. They were in previews. And so, I mean, maybe that means the rights could become available sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's good. And Patti LuPone does the Ladies Who Lunch.
Wow.
On right now? Like that's what the plan is right now? I mean,
before time stopped, but yeah. Right now she's drinking in her basement and like listening to her cassette tapes. I don't know if y'all pay attention to her on social media, but she's a hoot and y'all should.
Oh, I want to do that.
So something that is hilarious to me this is a Diva Dads first, is that I have Mandy watching the YouTube feed live and like feeding me comments or whatever. And it's hilarious because there's a delay on YouTube, right? And so like 20 seconds after it happens, Mandy just starts cackling. So it's just like old times, sitting on the porch and Mandy's cackling at Kristy's story. So I just wanted to plug that real quick while we had
we're live right now, not Dads After Dark.
God, Mike, no.
I actually for this long thought he was serious.
He did that just for you.
He's always been the pretty one. That's what happens. This is
Diva burn.
Cooper, more Prosecco. We're gonna send Cooper to get me some more Prosecco. Go get me some more Prosecco. Go tell Daddy. Someone text Jim Bob and tell him I need more Prosecco. I texted him.
Oh my goodness. So speaking of Jim Bob.
I got you.
Hey Jim Bob, can I have some more Prosecco?
Oh,
love it.
So Dustin Barty has two questions for you. The first is, what is your favorite thing about the village?
My favorite thing about the village is getting to go to work and hang out with my friends. Like, I made the cafe. I think someone asked about that. I don't know, something about like why did I make the cafe or whatever. And essentially, I made the cafe because there was a time that I didn't really feel like I belonged anywhere, and which is kind of weird. And I think probably because I always belonged to the theater, and I don't know, like whatever. I spent a lot of time at church and I spent a lot of time in bars. That's always my joke, but it's true. But neither of them were completely, like I couldn't be in either of them all the time. It's a good way to put it. But I maybe didn't want to be at home by myself. And so I made the village from that. It was like my extra place. And then I found out that like Starbucks, like way after, I don't mean like way after I said it, but way after I knew that was a thing for me, you see the your third place phenomenon, and like you have to have another place besides home and work. And mine was besides bar and church. Like if I didn't want to be at home, I knew I needed to go somewhere else, and I didn't want to, that couldn't be all of those things. It could be like all gym, all whatever, I don't know. And the village was just a place that you could go and just be with like no judgment or no expectation. So I always say like you can go there and you can drink a beer and read the Bible or not at the same time. Either way, like we don't care, so it can be a bar for you. It can be a church for you. It can be sometimes a bed for you. If I had a number of times people have slept on my couch during and after hours. It's been a lot of things to a lot of people. And for me, it was just, it saved my sanity for being in Bryan College Station and raising Jackson here for 18 years, confronting that as a single person.
How old is Jackson?
No, my idea was like, I'm going to be here at least 18 years to raise him.
Oh.
No, but he's still 16, which is still ridiculous.
It's still close. It's not 18 yet. It's not.
But he's still 16. And I think he's watching. Hi, Jackson.
Hi, Jackson.
Oh, I want to go back to the story about Jackson on stage. I'm running this, right? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Dana, can I do that?
You can do whatever you want. You're the guest.
Well, I wanted to say this about Jackson, and I got sidetracked earlier. We're all shocked.
You got sidetracked?
We're all shocked. I wore my Mamma Mia earrings.
I see, and I see your costume behind you. Is that your wig, too?
Uh-huh.
Is that Rodney's wig?
Yeah. Same one. No, I'm just kidding. It's mine. Yeah, Jackson and I, he did the whole Peter Pan thing and it didn't work out. And then he ironically went to the, I think, United Methodist, A&M United Methodist Church. He got cast in one of the leading parts. And at the end, when everybody was clapping, I mean, Jackson was just like, what? Like, I was scared, but now there's clapping. No one told me there would be clapping. I got it's done, and then he did like a couple more things, and he did Aladdin at school. He auditioned for Aladdin, and once he had the like reality of what it feels like to be on stage and to actually have people give you feedback, the fear just like melted away, and all the natural stuff that he got from Blake and myself, just like whatever. He had absolutely no question. And it's really funny, but Blake and I were sitting in the audience watching Jackson audition for Big. And we're both like nervous for him, we're like totally
nervous for him.
Like,
I was nervous for him because I choreographed Peter Pan, and I remember when he did it. And so when he went up for Big, I was like, come on, buddy, you can do it. You can do it.
You can get a chorus part, I promise, like something. And he just commanded the stage. It was the most ridiculous thing. And Blake and I were just watching. We were sitting there watching him. And they had to do the rap part. And he did the rap. And I'll never forget, he held out his script like this and just mic dropped his script and like turned and walked off. And Blake and I were like, and everybody goes, oh, and I'm like, who is this person? Like, this was like the cold read where you rap. It was like here, because the rap song was the song Billy did. So it's like, can you cold read this song? And he like cold read it, drop script, walk off. We're like,
My jaw was on the floor. Like, and no lie, this happens with a lot of people when you watch them audition, when you're like you're just like rooting for them.
Yeah.
But that happened, and it was like also just a big sigh of relief because I was like, you did it, and that was amazing. He was so good. He was so good.
He was so good. Billy was so right in his, wheelhouse, and it was so fun to see him and Dustin play off of each other. That show was the cast was so great.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'll say what I always said about like that show is dumb. Like that's the worst musical. The song is it's awful. Like I was just like, I'm so glad you guys are all so good and you've made this show fun. Because if the cast was not good in this show, I would not have been able to watch it 12 times like I had to or whatever. I'm like, oh good Lord. But it was amazing. It was amazing.
It's silly. Like it's really, really silly. But yeah, there's a lot of shows like that if with a lesser cast, you would probably want to leave it intermission. But Dustin was so good, and Taylor, and then oh my God, Matthew and Jackson together were just the cutest.
Well, that's like all the songs were weird. Let me put it this way: it wasn't the storyline. The songs were too long and too bad, like over and over and over throughout the whole show. I'm like, this is the dumbest song ever, and it won't stop. Besides Gigi's song, which just made me cry. Like Gigi,
that was beautiful.
Was perfect in that, and just made me want to cry every single time. That was so great. But yeah, I didn't know that song was coming, and I'm like, really? First time Jackson's on stage, you're gonna hit me with that song? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, why you think? It was like, where does time stop time? Like, where's it going?
Time. Yeah, because her son was missing.
Right.
It's a really traumatic movie, and so the weird thing about the musical, if everyone's seen the movie, and the movie is set like very much in the 80s. When they did the musical, they wrote it to be set in the 90s. So there's these weird like 90s jokes, and we read it and we were like, we're not doing that. So we just shoved it back in the 80s, and the kids looked amazing. The costumes were amazing.
Oh, yeah. It was so fun. So yeah, seeing Jackson on stage was amazing. He was really, really cute in Gaston. The Beauty and the Beast with those children. Yeah. I mean, seriously, Shiloh, can you really memorize and carry an entire full-length Beauty and the Beast Junior in 5 days? Like, could you really do that, Shiloh?
No.
I mean, seriously. And when she was just like, hello, like the word, whatever. The bigger with the tray. She like turned around and looked, and I'm like, okay, you have me forever. Like you shoot perfect. So that was really fun. That was a really neat show. But yeah, I really hope that Jackson and I can do a show together. I was thinking about it. So, I don't like talking about things in front of Adrienne because she's like, Kristy, you're putting pressure on me. I'm not putting pressure on you.
All right, well, she's gone. And the next question is actually, what show would you like to be in with Jackson or Jim Bob?
Jim Bob already said no. He watches shows. He's not in them. I asked him beforehand. Should I say? He's like, no, that's not a thing. Grease. It's really easy. I want to be in Grease when Jackson's a teenager, 20s, where he can be in Grease and I can be one of like the crazy old coach ladies at the dance scene. That's all I want to do. Maybe choreograph. Wouldn't that be so fun? Okay, you can come back, Adrienne.
Dobson, we're done. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Text Jim Bob and ask him to give me some Prosecco.
I did, but he has not responded, so I don't know what to tell you.
Let me know if you need more. He's falling out on his job.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ito. I can put I can go to Instagram and see if Ito's paying attention.
Okay, everybody talk about how cute my butt is. I'm gonna run go get the bottle, and I'll be right.
Wait,
did our guest just walk out?
The guest leaves. That's definitely a drink spot.
This is definitely a live show because this would not happen on a recorded show.
I mean, it has. Oh, I guess the guest hasn't left. Well, maybe.
I don't remember the guest ever leaving on any of the shows.
No.
Oh, there she is. All right. So the next question.
I'm glad you're back, but it was so nice to watch you leave. I really haven't had that much to drink. That's why I needed another guy.
There's Jim Bob. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Bringing you Prosecco.
So the next question is actually, Kiki's question. Kiki, do you remember which question you had for Kristy?
Here,
Yes.
I have the outline up so I can let him ask it.
All right, are you ready, Kristy?
I'm ready.
Okay, so my question for you is, what's your go-to karaoke song?
I love it. I saw that earlier. I'm very excited about it. I think probably my very favorite go-to karaoke song is Paul Revere by the Beastie Boys.
Oh.
What?
Yes. Yeah. Divas After Dark. You just let me know. I got you.
What's your go-to?
What?
What's your go-to song to sing live with a band?
Yeah, that's easy. Well, Mustang Sally.
There you go. That's what I figured you would say.
That's my Mustang Sally. That's my song. I really love to
dance with you on that song.
Yes, I would say Proud Mary. Adrian and I completely killed at Proud Mary with Karen Chavez as the actual person singing it. We just all over dancing moves.
But that song's notorious now because now pretty much anytime that comes on, there was like a First Friday. We were down promoting Rock of Ages and Michael Holloman's band was playing it like outside the LaSalle. So the whole cast, I was like, okay, just follow along. It's fine. And then also Carrie's bachelorette party in New Orleans, someone sang at karaoke and I was like, Alana, let's go. And then like half the bachelorette party got on stage in a bar in the French Quarter and did the Proud Mary choreography that we've been doing for like 15 years.
That's awesome.
Because it's amazing choreography.
It's good.
Yeah. So that's my favorite. I also like to sing my humps from Fergie.
That's one. Dana's favorite too.
I knew it. This is why we're so close, Dana. My hump, my hump, my hump, my hump.
And now we have a host leaving. I don't know what's happening tonight.
You've lost complete control of the
Also had to pee. What do you want me to do?
It's one of the bingo squares, so just fill in your bingo
also,
squares.
Kiki Palmer has to go.
Bye, Kiki.
Bye, Kiki.
Thank you so much for letting me join.
Thank you for feeding me. I love you so much.
I'll always feed you, baby.
Don't work too hard, buddy.
Bye,
I
Kiki.
tried to Venmo him. I Venmo'd him for dinner, and then he sent it back to me.
I said, girl, bye.
No, man.
I love you. I'll see you
I
later.
love you. I'll
Bye.
see you.
All right.
What were you saying?
Yeah, so I think it's time for another question. Daniel Hill wants to know, now there's an obvious answer to this question, but I want you to go past the obvious answer.
Daniel Hill is actually watching as we speak, so make it
hello,
good.
Daniel.
I was going to look on YouTube, but I can't.
So Daniel wants to know, what is the biggest challenge running a business and being involved in a show at the same time? So the obvious answer is obviously time, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think in the same vein of time, it's just like, when you get into a show, you're just like all in, like you just have to be all consumed with it, and you can't be all consumed like in a restaurant and all consumed at the theater at the same time. So like the balancing of them, I've now had the cafe for almost 12 years. So that's why I was able to do Mamma Mia, because I have a different type. I have a larger staff, more managers. And so nights and weekends weren't as big of a deal, but like a 3-weekend show, weekends are when you do restaurants. Mm-hmm. So if it was just Monday through Friday, like, yes. But when you're talking about the weekends from that perspective. So if it weren't for Steven and Angela and Alana, like that I could depend on to run the cafe while I'm in a show, or just like, just Angela and Steven when Alana and I are both in a show, because Alana, we're like, okay, we have to trade. We can't be in shows together anymore, because that's a whole thing. So summers are a thing. I just didn't audition for Little Shop of Horrors. So, you're welcome, Dustin. I was coming for you, boo. Like, I was coming for you. I didn't know who you were, but I still would have liked to have that audition off. I wish I had gone just to audition off with him, and then I would just like send you a piece of paper like, I can't really do this. I'm just messing with whoever wants. Whoever else wants to be the voice of the plant. Little Shop of Horrors is my all-time, hands down favorite musical of all time, period. Which a lot of people find funny and interesting, like when anyone says that their favorite musical. But it was the first musical I was ever a part of, like in high school. My senior year, was the first time we'd done a musical. I'd done theater for a long time, but I choreographed, student managed, because I choreographed the girls, essentially, the doo-wop girls, and then I was the stage manager, and I was the voice of the plant, all in that show. And I grew up on Motown music and doo-wop music, and so you take like a show that's like Motown and musical theater, and you put it together, it's like, oh, Little Shop and Smokey Joe's Cafe. Hello, Gogo, little Tinky. Hello, little Coco.
Hi, Lolita. Okay.
And both, like, those things, that's why I love Little Shop so much. And then also when we did it the first time, I just did Grease. Little Shop was the very next show. And I didn't want to do another show. That's the only reason I didn't do it, is because it was like Blake and I had our first experience as doing a show, which is just an all-encompassing thing. And Blake was not in the show. So he's like, you're not doing another show. Raise your hand if you ever had a spouse that said, no, you're not doing another damn show. You need to calm down. So Blake and I went right out the box with that. So then we came back to Showboat, and I'm like, no, you should do it too. And then we did like 15 shows straight. Because once you're both addicted, it's fine. You just have to get them both addicted, and it's fine. Which is what we did. And Rodney knows, because Rod was like, ugh, they're doing the stupid theater again? Like, all you do is stupid theater. Which is why now I'm like, all you do is a stupid theater, Rod. Because he did. He gave me lots of...
Tell us again, Rodney, how you never came to see a show the whole time that Kristy was doing theater.
Such a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Diva Bird.
I didn't understand it.
You didn't see any of them at all? What a butthole. Really?
I mean, my memory's not great because I'm an old man, but I don't think so.
Mandy, did you
Mandy will holler at me in 20 seconds. In 20 segands, Mandy will yell at me, and she'll say,
"You did tell you stop." Exactly. You just like her. I think Mandy knows that she's gonna be like, text you. Oh my God, you saw Grease, you saw this, you saw that. Because no way Mandy would not come see my shows, and no way Mandy would not make Rod to come see my shows. Like, there's just period.
Well, yeah, but I also remember like coming to College Station to visit you guys, and then like Mandy going and hanging out with you, and I go and do something else. So I don't know.
What'd you do, Rod?
I don't know. I don't think I saw any shows.
Thanks, Ronnie. I've
Sorry.
Even when you just sat on stage the whole time in those red pants like this, I watched that show.
Yeah, Dana didn't see that show, so
Dana
has no idea.
I saw most of that show.
Oh, that was such a good show.
Rod,
can we talk about Paul Early again?
Say that again, Adrian. Kristy was talking.
It doesn't matter. Kristy can talk.
I'm the guest star. I am the guest star. I was just gonna give Paul Early a compliment. It's not a big deal. Just keep
don't do that.
You know what? I'm torn because I want you to give him a compliment because I feel like all I do is yell at him. But on the other hand, like I yelled at him all week because he was just always late to everything he needed to do.
Yeah, me too. I got to do that too.
But did he go at all? I'm not going to give him any benefit. I was in the park with George so much. I cried and cried and cried when I watched that show. I loved it, and I cried.
Sunday in the park.
You and Paul were so good. And when you were like old, you were even good. And I'm like, why is this weird old shit stuff still good? It was so good. It was so great. I loved it so much. That was a great show. I was sad I didn't get to do it. But I really want to do Company. I want to change my answer. I want to do Company and then Cabaret, and I want to choreograph it.
Dude, Company, sign me up. Yes, I'm in.
I'm impressed you know Company, Rod.
I auditioned with a Company song for Sunday in the Park because I had to choose a Sondheim song, and it's hilarious. I was driving back from Iola, where my parents have some property out there, and I guess at the point, I don't know. It's not my property. It's my parents' property. But I was driving back, and I was like, "What?" That song was stuck in my head, and I put it on my Amazon Music and started playing it, and I was singing it like I had the windows down. I was singing it at the top of my lungs, and just like tears streaming down my cheeks. Like, I mean, definitely couldn't play the lead because I couldn't hold it together. But man, like the music in that song that I sang for the audition. Oh my gosh!
Which one was it? I didn't get to see because Adrian's kicked us out of auditions.
It was the main song. What's it called, Adrian? Huh?
Being Alive.
Yeah, Being Alive.
Oh yeah. That's what I got to dig on Adrian now. I'm coming for you, Mike Kilgore. You're last. I'm coming in hard.
Ooh. Wait, Mike, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, just checking.
Hey, I'm listening. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, why don't you ever talk? I've watched these. You don't ever talk. You just sit there in your white palace of room.
Mike's just checking out.
You could at least put a poster up in the back. Oh, is this because you live in a storage room because you're moving and you're leaving it?
Correct. I am in the storage room. Yes. Got to be quiet because it starts shutting down here. And then also too, though, my contract. The thing is, my contract stipulates I only have a certain amount of words. If not, I have to charge a little bit more. And so, TTCDivaDads
can we do a diva thing? Oh, we can't do those right now.
No, because someone wanted to do a live show.
I didn't say I wanted to. I thought that you were already capable of that. I didn't realize you weren't capable of it.
Oh, God. Seriously?
Hi, Caden.
Caden can't hear you, but he wants to play with Pickett because we caged Pickett because he likes to attack things. He likes to walk across.
The little cat that got hurt and fell in the. Oh, that's a real cute name.
Kristy, I know that the whole live thing has thrown Dana for a loop, and he might need a Xanax or 12 after this night. But I have to say, when Rodney threw out the idea to do this live instead of pre-recording it, I was just like, oh my God, what a great idea, because the editing process and what I go through to pull pictures and do all these things is quite exhausting, and this week is just not the week for it. So this was a great idea. Sorry, Dana.
It's all right. So I was talking to
you. Don't have to think about whether you should edit. You just let me talk. I'm better about being free flowing.
I was talking to a coworker today about what it all is going to take and at what point I was. And this was at 3:30, 4. And he goes, dude, just Zoom me after this and I'll make sure that you're good to go. And he said, by the way, the production value on your show, the recorded shows, is fantastic. I'm sure a lot of work goes into that. And I said, yes. I said, 2 dads and a director work very hard on post-production.
Hey, come on now. Whoa. You got to admit my gifts are very timely.
No, they're annoying because I've got to do, and then I get just messages from I'm kidding, Mike.
Diva burn. No. I got you, Dana. Point at me and I'll be like, Diva burn.
No, Mike, I'm kidding. Any other week, Mike said something funny because he has nothing to say. But this week, every time my phone blows up, which it's blowing up a little bit right now, I want to throw it out the window because I'm busy.
So we got complimented on our production value, guys. Good job.
That's real kind.
Oh, nice.
I do like the old pictures. I like the picture moment, at the end, the picture of the week. We can still do that. I can put it on my iPad. I could be this is the picture of the week.
Oh yeah, good iPad. That's a great idea because Dana is already. I see him turning red, and it's not just his ring light.
Ooh, girl, you got a ring light?
What? Yes, we all do. What?
We all have ring lights.
Moment. I don't have a ring light.
See, there's mine.
Oh.
What a ring light.
That's a great idea. Use a tablet and just show it. Why didn't I think of that? We have one more question from our fan club.
That's it?
It's from Cynthia Bradford, who wants to know, and I want to make sure I get this right. Have you ever happened to have been bloodily injured on stage during a live performance?
Yeah, she set me up for a very gory moment that I've had on stage, and it wasn't in Sweeney Todd, like you might think. It was actually in the Mamma Mia's. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm trying to make Diva burn where you can read it better.
So just so you know, in our live feed, the Diva burns are happening. You just can't see them.
Well, then I get to do my own Diva burns whenever I want. Which I like to be in charge. I know you guys are shocked by that.
No, not the
Who?
least bit.
Who is that? Who just said it?
Who likes to be in charge? Who that?
I know that Kate Mitchell is trying to screenshot me pictures of the live feed, but I don't have time to do that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I don't. If y'all could see, I'm literally simultaneously editing testimonials on my other computer. Everything's fine.
Am I not interesting enough for you right now?
You are, but like I'm going to talk to you in a little while anyways. So he didn't ask anything, but can we talk about Jeff Barbet because he commented on our post?
Did Cynthia get her question?
I think I was in the middle of something, but I don't remember what it is. So
it's the
fine.
bloodied on stage.
Oh, my bloody toe and then Jeff Barbet. Okay. All it is. It's not all it is. I wish I could remember who didn't move this set piece.
Can we just blame someone?
Yeah, let's blame Dave. Let's blame David Moreno.
David Moreno, who played Sky.
Yeah, we'll blame him.
He didn't move a set piece.
That'd be fun. No, I don't remember. It was when we came out and right before we did Chiquita and Dancing Queen, and it was that one big piece on the right that wouldn't move. It was real messed up, and it like full on broke that day. And so I felt like it was sort of like my way of having like a moment with Randy in Mamma Mia, because Randy was adamant about not having open-toed shoes on stage. Adamant. Lost his mind about it. He was just like, no, it's open-toed.
Among other things.
Yes, but that specifically was one of his things. And I was straight up wearing some Walmart $10 lesbian Chaco throwback things. They were awful because it was rosy, and I felt like it was very appropriate for the character. And so it was like a cross. But I walked in, and my foot, I walked like I always do, and the boys, little Bo Cochran was supposed to push that spot out of the way, and he didn't because it wouldn't move because like the wheels fell off. So he's like, and it wouldn't go anywhere. And so I tried to go around, and my toenail just said, and it pushed in on all the sides, just went right back. Just pushed back, pulled up, and I walked out on stage, and my foot was bleeding profusely. And I don't know if you remember, but that's a pretty long scene. Like,
yeah, y'all are there for a while. I don't know if Dana is confused or if he's gonna throw up. You okay, Dana?
I'm just trying to
toenail things.
So it's bringing back the memory of all of that, and it's just a little. We're good.
So much
yeah,
blood.
just remember Haley's husband JD came and fixed my toe the next day because it was like so jacked. But I literally.
Did I choreograph that show?
It was like it happened. What was that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Did I choreograph that show?
Yeah. Yeah. So and that's why it's like that's why I mentioned Rob because Rob was like, "Are you guys gonna kiss?" I'm like, "No," because you did the choreography that Rob directed. And so, but I hit my toenail so bad, and it was just bleeding, so much so that my little Chaco things, like the bottom of them, were filled with blood. Because I did all the thing where we we like talk to her, and then she sings her sad song, and then we do Chiquita, whatever the hell it is, and then we do Dancing Queen, and we laugh. So we do all those songs. My foot bled the entire 14 minutes on stage, just bleeding with every heartbeat. It was great. I lost my toenail. It's
fine. So do you know who is watching live? Well, Kate Mitchell's watching live. Hi. And also Lindsay.
Okay.
They're
and
back
Susan.
in New York. But yeah, Susan Keppick is watching live.
I totally watched it. It was so great. You're so beautiful.
So we filmed, and Susan, if you watch on Saturday night, you're going to see an absolutely epic performance of Stacey Jacks doing Dead or Alive, I guess, featuring Mike Kilgore. But while we were there, because we had Sherry and we had waitress number 1, I had them reenact the Sherry Your Mom's on the phone. So check your Facebook messages because we did that for you.
That's so great. I love her so much.
Kristy, you're the only reason I knew who Susan was, because when I was in college, when we would have like our like whatever weekly lunches, y'all would call in Susan. You would call in Zuzu, and I was like, oh, there's this person named Susan who lives in New York who used to do stuff, and that's the only reason I knew who she was, is because of you.
She's the best. She's like the nicest person ever. I have to tell my favorite. Well, Susan's gonna be like, I don't know this story because I've never told Susan, because I talked about Susan for this story. But I went to go see Susan in New York like, I don't know, 7 years ago. No, 8 years. It was a long time ago. 10 years ago. Who's the theater company? Oh, that's Adrian. Adrian.
That's me. I wanted to eat chips and not be gross.
Okay.
Girl, you need to eat before this show. Before the show.
Or after.
Yeah, or do like Mike and eat after.
There's a box of Honey Nut Cheerios in my bed still.
So Susan and I went to New York. It's not better. Susan and I went to New York, and I'm like, Susan, can you come see me? Like, I want to see you. I haven't seen you in years and years and years. And like, she told a story about how she moved to New York, and she was like, I cannot live here. Like, I can't live here. Like, this is not. And then someone was like, just hang in there, let her, and you'll figure it out. But Susan, I met her, and I'm like, this is so exciting. What do you want to do? And she's like, I think I'm going to move to New York. I'm like, well, that's fun. They're going to eat you alive. I don't know how you're going to. Okay. Yeah. Big cheerleader. New York. It's awesome. And so excited. Right when she moved there, she was a Blue Man, and I went there then and saw her. And then fast forward like 5 or 6 years. And I went there, and she's like, let's meet here. Let's do this. I'm like, okay, cool. So I meet her, and we're walking through, and she's like, oh, people in New York. And she's just like storming through the streets, like, come on, Kristy, you got to do this. And I'm like, I don't know you anymore. Like, she was so fierce. Like, she was just like, oh, tourists, you know? I mean, it was the most amazing thing. Like, New York, just like, she came into her own in this like unbelievable way. Like, it was just so fun. And that was when I went and saw her in Rock of Ages. Well, I got to see Rock of Ages, full original cast. I got to go up on stage and be right by the brass. I got to walk around. Susan let me do all that stuff. I got to do Blue Man Group with Susan. Point. And yeah, I get Diva Point. Yay. I want a lot of them. Make sure you make that note.
You were late to your own episode. I'm pretty sure you started.
I'm sorry, I prepared. Aren't you better? I was on time, Rod. I was on time.
But missed your entrance, but that's okay.
No, I made my entrance epic. You'll be talking about the Eva. You're like, do you know your YouTube's on? I'm like, no, I have no idea.
Uh-huh. It's like the radio caller calling in, and their radio is on so they can hear themselves. You know.
Dana's gonna have a good cry after this episode is over.
Forever.
You know what? That episode with Kristy went so great. We should do it live every week.
Yeah, Dana, I'm down. What a great.
Yeah, I'm in.
Can I be one of the Diva Dads?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Who are you kicking off the island?
What?
Who are you kicking off?
Well, Mike Kilgore, he's obviously deserting us.
Diva burn.
Where's
Kate Mitchell?
Where's our zing of Kate Mitchell saying Diva burn?
The live feed is getting that every time her voice on the Diva burn.
Good.
Am I giving a lot of opportunities for that?
You're doing
Yes.
all right.
You're doing a good job.
Cynthia though, like set the bar pretty high though.
Yeah.
Oh man, Cynthia was
killed us,
ruthless.
I mean, killed us.
Cynthia was in a mood. It was great.
I'm not sure if I can talk to Cynthia anymore.
She did apologize to you when she saw you.
She did. She did apologize.
I'm not going to apologize.
Do you have any messages? Kristy, do you have any messages from your other Diva moms?
No. For them or from them?
For them.
That's so fun. Well, first of all, I'm mad at Cynthia Bradford.
Oh.
Same.
Because Adrian was like, hey, we want you to do this thing, and can you come and be a diva lady in your outfit? Like, let's do this thing. And everybody's like, sure. And I'm like, have you heard of the COVID-19? And I mean the COVID-19 pounds I put on since March. Because I can't fit in that outfit right there. But if you follow me on Snapchat, you will know I did fit in that outfit.
You did fit in it.
Oh, you go, girl.
Just like I sat in the car.
Yeah, watch Saturday night's show and you will see her.
Yeah, but then Cynthia has to like take hers in. And she's like, her belt is flopping over and her Lycra is all baggy. No, ma'am. Oh, ma'am. I'm mad at her for that. Because I was mad enough that I had to get in that outfit and be real chunky. But I needed Cynthia to just be like normal next to me. But she had to be like real skinny, like Adrian.
Adrian was never like, even pregnant, when she was like 9 months pregnant, she still looked the same.
Exactly. And she's 10 years younger than us. Guys, in case you want to know, she didn't have plastic surgery for that role. She's just 10 years younger than us. So everybody's like, oh, she looks so much younger than you. Because she is so much younger than me. That's why. And then, Cynthia and I are just rolling along, looking like moms, doing our thing. And then she gets the COVID -19 and she's like running and stuff. And I'm fat and she's skinny. And it makes me sad.
I think it's about time to move to Dads After Dark.
I think we're almost there. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, no, but okay, so she's our third diva mom. So now I'm gonna ask her the same thing I've asked the other mom.
Here we go.
Can you tell me about your first impressions of each of the 3 diva dads?
Okay. I'll start with Dana.
She was actually speechless.
She's trying to think of like, when did I remember him? What is he memorable?
Well, no,
for?
I remember you in My Fair Lady because I didn't know you. I was like, who's that guy? In the golf. That's what I thought mostly, because I knew most of the other guys. I didn't know you, and you had a really nice voice, and you did real good. And Alana like would shoo you out of things with her broom. Like I knew you. I had seen you. That was my first time, and I thought you did a really nice job on stage. And in true theater company style, I was like, man, like there's a new boy at the theater.
There were so many episodes. New men walk in the theater with every show. Like it's an embarrassment of riches. The actual.
Is he gay? Is he straight? Can he sing? Can he act? How far can we go with this? How busy is he?
No.
Oh man.
Diva burn.
So that was really fun. I think the first was Rob, or was that or no? What was your first show?
Which one, Dana?
Internet.
Who are you talking to? You kind of broke up.
I was moving on to Mike.
Mike.
It said my internet.
I don't know that Mike would remember what his first show is.
I believe my first show, thank you very much, was Sweeney Todd.
Do you remember who else was in it though?
Adrian Rao.
No, she wasn't in it.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I saw that when I was making. I saw that episode.
Mike, name 5 other cast members from Sweeney Todd. Ready, go.
All right, Roger Pine, Adrian Dobson, Paul Early, possibly Zach Bratton, and possibly David
Only because he
Manuel.
does every show. You're just making shit up.
Okay, let me strike it. Name 5 ensemble members in Sweeney Todd. You did get one. You got Zach.
It was me, and it was me, and then I was in it, and then me, and then Roger.
100%.
Diva burn. Who are the ensemble members?
Oh Lord.
I was very interested in my insurance business at the time. It was very time to balance business and the theater.
I'll be honest, I did not think it was going to be this hard, but here we are.
she's no longer with us, and she's
no longer with us. Who's the dead person?
Online?
Well,
No.
The theater.
Good Lord.
I'm terrible at names. Just don't. Yeah.
I think you talking about Christina Freeman.
Christina Freeman. No, she wasn't ensemble. She was.
Fair. Yeah.
She was the one that was on top of the stage with where they were standing on the. No, that was
No character name.
Her name?
The one that was on the stage with the thing.
She was the hot one. The blonde hot one.
Chris Haley. But Mike, there's literally a song with her name as the title that Chris Haley sang.
Joanna.
Yes!
There you go. Good job.
Okay, that's good.
You were the beggar woman.
I was.
You were so good.
Really good.
Do you guys want me to cry? I can talk about Sweeney Todd.
Nope. I don't want to see you cry.
Well, no, we have yet to. I want to see her cry. That was like a weird moment that I feel like is a good thing for us to talk about on YouTube because because like you said, you weren't like there around at the time, but you knew something was going on. And I remember I was literally out on the curb, like taking a breather when you showed up to bring the letter.
Yeah. Yeah. So I need to back up to the fact that I was in Sweeney Todd with Randy. And Randy, like I said, was a method actor, and none of us knew what Sweeney Todd was. When we did Sweeney Todd, it came out. We did Sweeney Todd like almost a year to the day that it came out in the movie theaters. So because of that, we had no idea what the hell Sweeney Todd was. Like 90% of the people had no idea what it was. And so Randy introduced the play to us as a Sondheim play. And it was so interesting to do that level of Sondheim with all of the weird minor chords. And I remember when the stage opened up, Randy put us in like this triangle. And I can't remember right now like who was at the point of the triangle, but I was like here. I was like right off the corner personally. And I had, like I said, I was really big and pregnant. I remember the most annoying thing about Sweeney Todd is that some people took the fact that we were supposed to be ugly, like properly. And some people thought that they should be really fabulous with like a dash of dirt on their face. And it was really annoying because you're supposed to be like dregs of London people, you know? So man, Dana, this would be such a good time to do some post-production video of me and Sweeney Todd.
I'll find those pictures. I'll share.
I was so ugly. Oh, is that me? I gotta see.
Can't see.
I was so ugly. I was so and so my point was that my mother watched the show.
That's new Sweeney. That's David and Roger?
Yeah.
Don't give me that. We need like KP Sweeney. No, but I walked out there. We're like, I tell the tale of Sweeney Todd. You know, and we're all in our thing. My mom was watching the show, and she watched the entire scene. And I sang my solo because you know, it kind of breaks up in people in the opening number, and I had one of those lines. She was like, "Well, you didn't come out till you started your pregnant thing." My mom had no idea it was on stage. That's how ugly I was. That's how like. I was you are part of the people that don't understand that sometimes you're part of the set. Those people annoy me. Like, guess what? This is not your show. You are not part of the set right now. And I was part of the set. I was part of the ensemble that brought the whole thing in there. So I was ugly. I was old. I was big and pregnant and whatever. But I remember there would be so many big breaks that no one was on stage except for the principals. Like the chorus is pretty small in Sweeney. It has its moments, but otherwise, like there's just big jumps that there's no one on outside of the like 5 or 6 principal characters. And we used to, you know, go around and watch in the background. And I watched Randy do so many things. I watched Randy just in awe. And we did that. And so the current Sweeney Todd that Mike doesn't remember, I was Randy staged the beginning in the same way that he staged it when he directed it and was in it himself. So he had the big thing above the orchestra in the same way, and the whole boat across the river, and it was
literally the same. It was the same dinghy.
It was straight up same thing. When sweet, precious little Blake Rogers and Tara Moran went across there, and they were so good. He was so beautiful. Like, they were so beautiful. They were just so perfect. Which honestly, like, the second cast was too. The issue for me is the only time I saw that was when I gave Adrian my letter for Randy, but I didn't give him to it that day, right? Like, I didn't give it to.
You came by during dress rehearsals, and I was literally just outside having a moment, and you just drove up like at that time, because most people didn't know how severe the situation was, but you texted me, and very point blank was like, all right, what's going on? And so I talked to you about it, and you came that during Tech Week to give me a letter to give to him.
Yeah. Well, that's what all of a sudden someone sent something. It was like hashtag because of Randy. And I read it, and I swear my stomach like hit my toes. Cause I thought I was reading that he was gone. Like I was just like, what? And that's when I text you, and you're like, no. And I was like, I need to come see him. And she's like, Kristy's not really seeing people, but if you write him a letter, I'll read it to him. Yeah. I don't really remember all that was on it. I was probably crying the whole time I read it, but I wrote a letter and sent it with Adrian. And then I knew how bad it was. I knew it was hospice-y, and I knew it was the end and all of that. And I wanted to come see Sweeney Todd, and Jessica Lemons and I went to see it together. Yeah. Somebody else was me. What?
She brought me wine and snacks, because that was the night, and she showed up right when we needed her with wine.
And I was there for the production that they told everybody that he had passed.
Yeah.
So I came in, but no one told me. I didn't know. They told everybody backstage, and then I think I knew. I think during intermission, someone told me.
I can't remember. I think I did. Did I?
Like, either you told me during intermission, or Roger came out afterwards and told us.
Roger came out after curtain.
Right.
After curtain calls to talk. But Rich Bradford was working the show that night, and I know that he was there and communicating it to people who were in the audience.
I know Jessica would remember better than me, but I do know for sure when I first got there, I didn't know. And that's why I tell you, like, the spooky kind of story for me is that I didn't know. And I'd done Zorba, obviously I'd done Zorba, but I'd done Sweeney with Randy. And it was such a pleasure to watch him on stage. And he would be very frustrated because he didn't have his voice anymore, because he was so much older. And he was used, if you ever get a chance to hear Randy's voice when he level ridiculous, and so he hated that it was kind of like 40 years of smoking, gravelly, blah blah, like all of that kind of voice, and he was not happy about it anymore. Randy and I are exactly 40 years apart, so he died, and his funeral was on my 40th birthday. Because he was 70, he was
69,
he was about 6 days shy of being 70, maybe 10, because my birthday was on December 2nd, which was the day of his funeral, and he would have been 70 on December 8th. He died November 20, not your birthday, right?
It was the 17th.
Tara's birthday.
It was the 17th.
November 17th?
16th or 17th. But two things. He was glad to have died at the age of 69. And he also was really glad to have not had to live through the Trump administration, because that was honestly one of his biggest frustrations. He didn't get to vote because he was in ICU. And so it's he wouldn't have been able to make it through the past couple of years anyway. So
his Facebook alone would have exploded.
Oh, I was pulling pictures of him the other day for some of the stuff on Saturday, and I forgot how intense he was on social media about his disdain.
Hilarious.
No, he was so funny.
Yeah, but the creepy thing that I was just going to say is that I came in and I watched the show. Jess knew how much Randy meant to me, and she knew how touch and go it was, and I did too. And I'm like, I want to go see the show, but I don't want to go see the show because it brings so much memories back because I was in Sweeney Todd with him and all of that. And then I sat there with him. I sat there with Jess, and she held my hand. But having Roger come out in that top right corner in the opening number, and he's saying that opening number, and Randy pretty much cast it where the entire theater is dark, and he's just up there really, or like laid it out.
So he was center, which is how Randy had done it. But there was this moment in that show where like the whole ensemble turns to him, and we, at the break between shows is when the cast was notified. And there's a moment at the beginning when Roger comes out to sing that opening number, and the ensemble is split in half facing each other. And I was off. Like, that show was weird. I was either like on stage without everybody or off stage without everybody. And so I was off stage watching everybody. And so I would see the sides of the stage slowly make eye contact, and you saw faces just start, like, chins start trembling because we were like ready to do the show. But then there was just this moment of like, oh God, I cannot believe we have to do this right now. It's ridiculous.
Well, and I had, like, over and over and over, I kept seeing Randy's face, like, just cover Roger's. And it's like, it was very weird to say that. And I've told Roger this before, but it was like, it actually gave me peace to know that Randy had passed before the show, because the entire time I felt like Randy was performing through Roger on stage. I kept feeling like his face was like superimposed on Roger's face, and all these memories kept flooding back because of the way Randy, at least in my memory, because we used to run around and watch Randy do it all the time, but it was watching Roger was like watching Randy do it, which to me is the greatest compliment I can give Roger. So I mean that in a very complimentary way. And I sat there and just sobbed, and Jess held my hand because she knew I just kept crying and crying and crying, because I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, I hope he gets better kind of thing. And like, I can't believe I'm in the theater without him here. Like, it's so weird to be here without him. But I think there's something so beautiful and so fitting about like a closing show of Sweeney Todd with Randy, like all of it, it just made sense. It just like came back around for me. But
so to transition to, I want to talk about real quick, Randy in Sweeney when he did it. I was thinking about it, and Amanda Morrissey posted it on the YouTube feed, but do you remember the day where one of two things happened? Either Randy got lost and forgot his words, which we all know was like to happen, or two, he blamed Theo for skipping a page in the score. But do you remember during Epiphany one night, he's on top of the house, forgets the words to Epiphany, and he just like shoots the razor up into the air and sings death and eventually made it back. But I mean, Mike, you remember the song, right? Epiphany.
Oh yeah.
There's like a million words. Like, that's the hole in the world, like a great back, like it's so many words. And Randy was just like, death. And do you remember that, Kristy?
She's frozen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I do. Well, I'm going to be like super real here for a second. Like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, whatever, but I'm gonna, just like other times, like, you know, when people pass away, you make them into these idols and icons, and like you forgive them of all of the, not even like the sins, but of the shit that you blamed them for earlier. Sorry, words. But like the biggest thing that when Adrian was going to take on the director position at the theater company, I came to her and I was just like, girl, I love you and you're so good at this and you'll be the best artistic director ever. But I need you to know the level of crap that is going to get thrown at you. And that was the level of crap that got thrown at Randy every day. And I absolutely love that people idolize and iconize him now because he deserves every moment of it. He deserves every moment of it. But yeah, I mean, I remember when Randy messed up because sure as hell, everybody was talking about it that night and continuing to every moment because Randy messed up. Yes, he messed up, And so when I talk to my baby theater girls, give y'all a minute with Kristy. When I talk to my baby theater girls, auditions do not define you. What everybody in the TTC think about you does not define you. If you don't get that role that you thought meant everything to you, it doesn't define you. And it just in the way that it doesn't define you and that you can't get yourself all wrapped up in that and mess with your own self-esteem. Randy had to work on that the exact same way because everybody came in there, everybody was like, I am 5'2" and a female, and I feel like I should have gotten to play Sweeney Todd instead of you. Like,
whoa, triggered.
That's crap that happened to Randy all the time. And there's people that you could even say, well, she may have had a point that maybe she should have got the point. A, no, because you're not the director. And B, that person who may have had a little bit of a point, there was somebody else that's like way off the deep end and like 100 times over. And so what I do love and what I treasure about my time with Randy is getting completely removed from the theater because I was so busy with my own stuff and becoming his friend and being able to be a confidant for him when it was just like, man, sometimes this is really hard. Man, sometimes this is like, I love it and I do it because I'm passionate about it. But sometimes, whatever, 28 seasons or 25, 26 seasons with the theater. Do you want to multiply that times 6 and how many shows in a row Randy did?
My life just flashed before my eyes.
Have any of y'all done 3 shows in a row? Have you? Like director? Yes. So you know what that feels like. So director's like, so I enjoy the thing with the theater and the thing with the village and the thing with getting older is that you become a leader because all the grown-ups start dying and then all of a sudden you realize you're a grown-up. I don't know. Whatever. That's my position at this point. I'm a grown-up because everyone else that's older than me has either said I'm at the beach or I'm dead. And so now you have to be the grown-up, Kristy. And this is what you guys are left with, turns out. But I know it's hard. And it was hard for Randy. And I love to see him being admired now because he deserved it because he poured his life and soul into this theater. And it was very fun to even get to tap into just a little bit of that, so.
To Randy.
Randy Lou, the cutest guy I know. I did want to say this. There was a couple things I wanted to say before we were done. I wanted to say, like, when Randy would talk to you and he would, like, look and he would, like, and he would eat on his mustache.
That was really jarring for you to just...
You'd ask, he's like, do you want me to do this?
Don't do that.
Oh, she's frozen.
On his mustache, it was the most unsettling and weird thing.
I know exactly what she's talking about, and that was very triggering in a second.
Yeah, it's so weird. So weird. The biggest compliment, first of all, why is my internet connection stable? This part, Brian is trying to get its own charter so suddenly. It can be better.
Kristy, I'll let you get your internet together, but I'll tell you a real quick internet thing that had to happen at the theater company. So we're doing this live streamed event on Saturday night that obviously requires like solid internet, but this whole week I've been there most evenings and the internet has been dying on me at 9:30 regularly, 10:30 every night. So don't worry because the theater company bumped up the internet for the next week to make sure that Saturday's going to go off without a hitch. It's going to be great. Thanks, Mike. All right, Kristy, go ahead and take us out. What did you want to say?
That Prosecco's talking.
No, that was Mike.
That was Dana's big mouth. I know about Dana.
Let's take us out. Oh, got you. Okay. I was just kidding.
No.
Not you, Mike.
Oh.
Mike just started listening. Mike just started listening. He thought he heard his name.
He heard his cue to speak. Take us out, Mike.
Did someone say my name? Okay, hold on. Wait, I said I wanted to say something else about Randy. Oh, my name for literally 6 months was Cha.
Yep.
The first show I ever did was Grease. I was Cha DeGregorio, the best dancer in St. Bernadette's.
DeGregorio. Emphasis
And,
on the D.
I need to tell you, I did a cartwheel with no hands.
That's called an aerial, isn't it?
It is. But Randy loved it. I did a cartwheel with no hands, and you would have thought that I just did like a double, triple back tuck. He was like, can you do anything? This is Randy. Can you do anything fun? I'm like,
Mike, everybody sees the chat now on the live stream.
I was like, I think this is so amazing. I was like, I think I can do a cartwheel with no hands, and then he can like act like he did it. And Randy's like, really? So I did this like cartwheel with no hands, but for like 4 months after that, through Showboat, through You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, through all of these things, he would be like, Cha. And I was like, Kristy, yeah. Can you go and get this from wherever? It's like, did not. I was like, yeah, you don't care that my name is Kristy. It was like years.
It's not that he didn't care. It's literally that I feel like I do this now, and I am not in my 60s.
No, I'm with you. When people are like, I met you at the Village, I'm like, okay, exactly. But so I was in the show. It's 6 weeks of his life. It comes and goes. It's whatever. But it was really great that I was Cha DeGregorio, and Randy called me. That's what I love about it. And I told Rodney this. I'm gonna say this real quick. Grease opened up the Friday after September 11th, so it would have opened up like September 15th or something, 2001. And so it was really crazy. So obviously we had already, like, September 11th happened during Tech Week, and so we'd gone through so many things. It was just so crazy. And then Susan's with me. Susan, you got me, girl. Literally, Randy comes around and he passes out. It's rude to laugh, but it's very funny. He gives us toothpicks they're essentially toothpicks. He gives us these little American flags on a stick, and he gives them to us to like wave them. And he was like, I want you to wave them on the apron of the stage and sing New York, New York. And we're like, what are you talking about? Like, we are such dorks. We're like, this is so lame, Randy. We're not doing this. Like, you're doing it. They're doing it. And of course we were doing it because everybody's just in this like entire, like, just overwhelming days, essentially. Because if anyone was actually alive in 2001, old enough to remember this, like, it was a very big thing. But we all, right at the beginning, Randy would make a nice comment. He would make some statement about our friends in the industry in New York that had just been attacked because it was so fresh. And then we all walked out in our costumes, and then we all had our toothpick American flags. And we all sang New York, New York. And we're just like, the flags were just a thing. I mean, we could have done without the flags. It was the Randy sizzle, was the flags, is all I'm saying. And it was the whole thing. Yeah. But every night throughout the entire Grease, we would do that. And then the things would close and we're like, like right off the bat. Like, you just like come in, it's like, New York, New York, and do you ever, whatever. Like, it was just like right off the bat. And it was a very, I know that's a different show.
Smokey Joe's Act 2.
It was a different show. What is the opening of Grease?
Wasn't it the school song, Rydell High? Like, isn't that how the musical opens? So weird.
Why isn't Kiki here? He would know. He was Eugene. He's like the first thing on stage.
He is. I know. That's why I think it is the school song. It's like him and Patti Simcox at the high school reunion, and then it transitions to the rest of the show.
So that's the thing is you're like really super somber, and then like Rydell, hi, blah blah blah, every time. It was like very like the juxtaposition was just quite a thing. I said juxtaposition, and I've been drinking for a second.
Before, okay.
He was After Dark is gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be great. I think so. Dana, you pulled up a photo of the day. Do you want to pull up a fresh one, or is that too risky? And you want to talk about? Because I feel like we've talked a lot about Sweeney, which is great.
I mean, was the photo of the like when I pulled it up just then. That's what it was, which is why I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Sweeney Todd."
David killing Roger. That was also like David's first on-stage role. He'd only been in the pit until Sweeney, and then it was like, "Hey, take on this incredibly complex character." Cool. All right. So then,
Rodney, like Whitaker was.
I do.
He was so creepy.
He's
super creepy.
He owes me a video for tomorrow. Saturday's show.
Blake Whitaker, B-Dub. I gave you that name. You need to behave. Make a video. Did Blake give you one?
No.
I need to tell Blake and Jackson to give you one.
That would be amazing. Except, I don't know if I can take much more. Mentally.
Well, I'm going to get one, and I need you to make me in it.
You're in it if you do the thing we asked you to do.
I know, but I also want an alumni video. It's been like 20 years. You're
still here, though. That's a good thing. I'm trying to get
I don't get a video because I'm still here.
We'll talk about this later. All right, Rodney.
Are we doing Jennifer Riley? Do we have time?
We gotta push that off.
Have I gone long? Did I go long?
Oh, time to wrap. Worth it. It's good.
Jennifer Riley.
All right,
we're gonna play your video during Dad's After Dark.
Mike, we don't have to put any pressure on you. Kristy, do you want to say goodnight and send us into Dad's After Dark?
Do I do like a dance or anything?
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, whatever you do will be better than what Mike does.
Oh.
I need to get everything off my wall so I look like Mike. Put a hat on.
He's about to be homeless.
Topo Chico. Topo Chico.
Oh my god. Mike, take us out.
All right, folks. On a serious note, make sure you check out Saturday night.
No more serious notes.
Saturday night, right, I believe in TTC.com.
Yes, we're going to Dad's After Dark. Good night.
I believe.
Good night.
Good job.